titled it the 6-month roadmap deliberately because we believe this has to be a concerted effort initially in order to deal with the challenges that we are facing. And then it was like coming home to a time that has not changed. The GDP especially was about 80 billion when I left, and when I came back also it was around the same number. So obviously it was a little discomforting, but at the same time comforting, because it was as if there has been no change at all. But if you just look at the situation from 2019 and onwards, Sri Lanka had reserves of 7.6 billion at the end of 2019. Thereafter, notwithstanding what a lot of people have been saying, we have paid back 6 billion in the year 2020. Then we paid back a further 5.6 billion in 2021 so far. And we are now with a reserve of around 5 billion, which is consisting of 3.5 billion in cash and a swap arrangement that we have for another 1.5 billion. Moratoria, which the government as well as the central bank put together, was an important factor in order to ensure that businesses survive these difficult times. And of course, we have all seen the proactive vaccination measures, the fiscal stimuli that was being given by the government, the tax exemptions, a lot of other areas where a lot of work can be done in order to provide the system with a certain degree of stability. Foreign reserves and the pressure, but we believe that those also could be addressed with the plan that we are going to put in place. The exchange rate impact on the central government's debt is another factor that we must all be conscious of, because the rupee depreciation can be a huge burden if you do have the debt in US dollars as well. If you have foreign debt, any depreciation of the currency could affect the total composition of the debt, and that is something that we must all be concerned about, and that is why the central bank takes the necessary steps to ensure that we bring stability. The UDA as well as the BOI both have been involved in that effort to ensure that certain underutilized assets which are not providing any support to the economy right now are utilized better so that they could be giving an additional support to the economy by way of inflows as well as economic activity that would make sure that Sri Lanka can use those much better for the future. So that there is a certain liquidity that is provided to the market to ensure that a large part of the imports, in case there is any tension, we would provide that exchange from the central bank to make sure that the prices could be not increased and then we can have a stable business going forward. We are already negotiating several short-term and longer-term currency swaps with certain international counterparts, and those we are expecting to see materializing shortly, so that will be additional buffer which we could use at any time that we would like to use in the future. Then central bank will continue certain other areas as well, that is install systems to monitor the forex flows in future, just like what India, Bangladesh, Thailand, Myanmar, Nepal, many of those countries are doing. So we will follow suit and we will have a good tracking system to ensure that the goods flow, the materials flow, as well as the funds flow will be matched, and then we can move forward with great clarity. Because I believe when you work out the entire semantics of the 24 countries that we normally track the Sri Lankan rupee against, it is very, very competitive, and I believe that's what we should be now concentrating on and not waiting for further depreciation, but to work on the current numbers. Make a very clear statement here that no changes whatsoever will be made to the personal foreign currency accounts. Those were previously referred to as NRFC and RFC. There is no change whatsoever to those accounts. We want to see also the state-owned business enterprises diversifying their borrowing sources. Sometimes their borrowing sources have been confined to only the state banks or to others of that nature, but I believe the time is now necessary for them to diversify so that they can also be a lot more competitive and the opportunities available to the private banks could also increase as time goes on. We forward march, and I'm blessed with a great set of people who are also working in a dedicated fashion so we can move forward with clarity.